To the University of Botswana. Today I'm going to be taking you through on how to log on to the UB computers. For your username, use UB / your student ID. And for your password, when it's your very first time logging onto the computers, it'll always be your student ID. As an example, as a first time student logging onto the computers, my username will be UB / 2014-02-860. Again, my username will be UB / 2014-02-860. And my password is the same student ID I inputted at the top, being 2014-02-860. Now, after you have logged in, you will be prompted to change your password. You can change it to whatever you desire it to be, but remember that it has to be something you will always remember, because it is the same password that you're going to use to log on to the student Wi-Fi and other services provided. Today, I'll be taking you through all the IT services that are provided here at UB. And for you to get them, you can go onto the UB webpage, which is www.ub.bw. Once the page is fully loaded, you can scroll to the bottom of the page where you will find all the IT services that are provided here. And the very first one that we're going to be talking about is Kitsiso. Kitsiso is an online platform that can only be accessed here on campus, and it is popularly known as the intranet. This is where you can find links to all other services that are provided by the University of Botswana, and also you can find adverts on Kitsiso. It can be job adverts. To log on to the UB intranet, you need your student ID and the same password that you use to log on to the UB computers. Once you have input your details, you can go to log in. Once you have successfully logged on to the intranet, you can see that the homepage provides the latest announcements, calendars, and different services that are available. There are also news, system links, and all the other information that you can get from Kitsiso. One of the most interesting things to find on Kitsiso is the campus map. Now, as a first-year student, most of you don't know your way around campus. This is a very important feature, and it helps you go around the campus and not get lost. The second IT service that we're going to be looking at is UB Moodle. Now, to access the IT service like usual, go to the UB webpage. Scroll to the bottom of the page. This is where our online systems are found, and we're going to be talking about Moodle. Now click on Moodle. This is the login page of Moodle. Now to log on to Moodle, your username is your student ID, and your password is the first two characters of your first name, followed by the first two characters of your surname, all in caps, and the last 4 digits of your username. Once again, your username is your student ID, and your password is the first 2 characters of your first name, followed by the first 2 characters of your surname, and the last 4 digits of your username. Let's log on to Moodle. It's your student ID and the first 2 characters of your first name, first 2 characters of your last name, and the last 4 digits of your student ID. Once you have successfully logged on to Moodle, this is the page that you are redirected to. Now, if you notice at the very top of the page, there is contact information. Now, this contact information consisting of telephone numbers and emails is the one that you're going to use when you have any problems or complications with your Moodle. And right at the top, you can find your name, your student name, and next to that is a drop-down menu. Once you hit on the drop-down menu, there are different links to dashboard, profile, grades, messages, preferences, and then log out. If you go onto profile, this is where you find your user profile comprising of your name and all your other user details. Now, one of the things that is important while you are still on the profile is the reports part. At the report part, under reports, you can find grades overview. Now with grades overview, you can click on it. This is where all your grades from all your courses are going to be listed. Now, since we haven't yet enrolled for any more courses aside from this one, and since it hasn't been graded yet, that is why we don't have a grade underneath here. But the moment that you start and you get your test ones and all the other assignments, your grades will keep on appearing under grades under your profile. Moving on, when you go to the UB logo, it redirects you to the site home. Now here you can find different material that helps you better maneuver student Moodle. For you to continue on, we are going to be going back to the dashboard, which was the original page that we saw once we had successfully logged on to Moodle. Now, when you look at the middle of the page, it says recently accessed courses. This is where your courses will appear that you have recently clicked on. Now, since we haven't clicked on any courses yet, that's why it says that there are no recent courses. Under course overview, this is where you'll find all the courses that you're going to be taking. If you're taking 6 courses that are part of Moodle, they're going to all appear here. On the right-hand side of the web page, you can scroll to the bottom of the page. You will find your timeline, your private files, and all the users that are currently online. Scrolling all the way to the bottom will show you other things such as the latest badges, the calendar, and upcoming events. This is all that we're going to be looking at with regards to the UB Moodle. Now we can log out. Always make sure that you log out before leaving the workstation. Continuing with our system introduction, go to the UB page and scroll back to the bottom of the page. The next one that we will be looking at under online systems is the library catalog. Once you have clicked on the library catalog link, this is the page that you will receive. Now, the library catalog is like a virtual library. You can actually find books or past papers or journals that are available at the library currently without having to actually go to the library. Now, to access the library catalog, we go under Quick Access, you click on View Patron Records. For you to log on to the UB library catalog, you have to enter your surname and your initials as the username, and the password will be your student ID followed by 01 at the end. The username is your surname, space, followed by your initials with a space between them, and your password, you enter your student ID with a 01 at the end, no spaces in between. Now this is my username, my surname, and both my initials, and my student ID, I enter it here, followed by a 01 at the end, no spaces. Then I click on to submit, and this is the page that I'm going to receive. Now, as you can see, there's a book that I've borrowed and it is a little overdue. But in the middle of the page, it shows you your name, and on the top right hand side of the screen, you can see where it says modify personal info, preferred searches, my reading history, and my ratings. Now, if you go to my reading history, it shows you all the books that you have checked out of the library and that you have read before. And if you have a book that you need to renew, let's say that you've borrowed a book and it's due to be returned to the library in a couple of days, but unfortunately you haven't yet finished reading it. So how do you renew the book without having to actually go to the library and continue the process from there? All you have to do is go to the top left corner of this page and click on Help with Renewals. Now, you can actually renew your book up to 3 times. Going on back to the original page, at the very top of the page, you can see where it says keyword. Now, on the search bar that is appearing there, this is where you can search for absolutely anything. Now, the thing that we're going to be searching for is past papers. There are past papers that are available online at the library that you can be able to download and work on at your own convenience without actually having to go to the library. Now, let's say you want a past paper for Maths 111, which is one of the courses that are provided here. The course name is MAT and the course number is 111. You enter in the course name and the course number. When you click search, it gives you all the available material for Maths 111 that are there for you to download. There are exam papers that you can download and there are books that are available. Now, if you go back to the search section, you will find that keyword is not the only way that you can find your book or past paper. Now, if you click on the drop-down menu, you can search by author. That is the author of a particular book or journal that you're looking for. You can search by title. That is a particular title of a book or journal. Subject, call number, or journal. Now, call number is where the book is actually located at the library. It is like a location pin that shows you exactly which row you are going to find your material in. The library has different floors from the upper ground to all the floors that are available there. Now, the call number shows you exactly where the book is going to be found. As an example, we can look at the first entry from our Maths 111 search. It gives you the book name or the title and the publication details, and where it says location, underneath it, it says upper ground main stacks, and the call number is specified right there, and the status is in. Now, this call number shows you exactly where in that particular location of upper ground your book will be. With regards to the library catalog, this is all that we're going to be looking at, and always remember to log out after logging on to any system whatsoever. Going on back to the UB website, we scroll all the way to the bottom of the page to where we find our online systems again, and we are going to be doing the Student Administration System, popularly known as ASAS or Maroja. We click on the link, and this is the screen that welcomes you to the administration system. Now, your user ID is your student ID, and your password is the first two letters of your name, first two letters of your surname, followed by the last four digits of your student ID. That is the first two letters of your name, first two letters of your surname, followed by the last four digits of your student ID. Let us log on to the system. Remember, the username is the student ID, then the password is the first two letters of your name, first two letters of your surname, and last four digits of your student ID. Then click Sign In. Now that we've successfully logged on to ASAS, let us explore. Go to Self-Service and click on Student Center. Student Center has a lot of information concerning a student. The first one is academics. Under academics, you can see that it shows you the class schedule of a student. This only appears once you have registered for classes. Each and every class you have registered for will be reflected. Now, you can go to View Your Weekly Schedule to see your timetable. When you click on it, it gives you your weekly timetable. If we go back, we see that there are other links. You can go onto My Academics. Now, under the My Academics page, we have a couple of information that is very important to you as a student. Now, you can view your unofficial transcript, A transcript is a list of all the courses that you've taken with their corresponding final marks. Or you can view or print your proof of registration. Going on back to the Student Center, if we scroll down a little bit, we can now see our Finances tab. Once we're under the Finances tab, this is where you're going to be able to find all your financial information. Now, if you go under Account Inquiry, under Account Summary, this is where all the things that you owe are going to be listed. Now, currently, we don't have anything listed, so we can go on back to Student Center. And then the following tab is one that says Personal Information. Now, this is where we find your demographic data, your emergency contacts, your names and user preferences, along with other contact information, that is your cell phone number and your mail address. One other thing that is very important while using ASAS is viewing your grades. Now, for you to do that, you go to Main Menu, under Self-Service, go to Enrollment, and then under Enrollment, you can see your assignments, your class schedule, your weekly schedule, and you can view your grades. Currently, because there hasn't been any assessment done for any of your courses, there will be nothing under your grades. But as time goes on with your test 1s, your test 2s, and your final mark, this is where you're going to go in order to see your grades. For ASAS, another thing that is very important is passwords. Now you can go on to change my password so that you secure your account. Remember, we said at the beginning that the user ID is your student ID and your password is the first 2 letters of your name, first 2 letters of your surname, followed by the last 4 digits of your student ID. Now that's very easy for somebody to get. A close friend who knows my name and my surname and has access to my student card can get all the information needed to log on to my account. Now, it is very important to secure your password, or to secure your account rather. So go on to change my password, and then under current password, you add the one that starts with your first 2 letters of your name, first 2 letters of your surname, and the last 4 digits of your student number. And then proceed with your new password and confirm your password, then click Change Password. And remember, when you're using school computers, never ever store your password. And always remember to sign out of every system that you log onto. Now that we've learned how to change our passwords, what do we do when we've forgotten our password? It's simple. Go to My System Profile. While you are here, you can then change or set up Forgotten Password Help. But before you can do that, you have to add an email. At the very bottom of the page, where it says Miscellaneous User Links, Email. Primary email account, you click that, and then you choose your email type. Is it your business email, work email, or other? You select, and then you add the particular email. It can be a Gmail account or a Yahoo account. After you've added the email, click Save. And then remember, the reason why we're adding this email is so that we can be able to set up Forgotten Password Help. Once you have saved your email that you included at the bottom, now you can go to Change or Set Up Forgotten Password Help. Once you click on Change or Set Up Forgotten Password, this is the page that you're going to receive. It says, if you've forgotten your password, you can have a new password emailed to you. Enter a question and your response below. These will be used to authenticate you. Remember, we just set up an email in the previous page. So just go to questions, click on the drop-down menu, and pick any question you want. Let us go with, what is your favorite book? Now, since you've selected a question, now you can enter in your response to the question that you chose. Then click OK. Now, what you have set up will be used to authenticate you once you've forgotten your password. What will happen is, you will be prompted to answer the question that you chose, and if you answer correctly, the system will know that it is you and send you a new password to the email that you entered before. Then you can now re-enter that password that was sent to your email and create a new password that you will now be using to access the system. Moving on to yet another system, we go back to the UB page and scroll to the bottom of the page. Under Online Systems, we go to the very last one, being Email/Office 365. To sign in, use another account. Now, the email that you're going to use, it's your student ID at ub.ac.bw. If it's your very first time logging onto Office 365, your password is student, capital S, 123. Student 123. The S is capital. Student 123. After you have signed in with that initial password, it will ask you to recreate your password. Now, your password has to be 8 characters long, consisting of uppercase and lowercase letters and a number. Your password has to be 8 characters long, consisting of uppercase, lowercase letters, and numbers. Then click Sign In. You will then be prompted to change your password. Remember, our current password is student123 with capital S. Now we put it under current password, student123, and then you create a new password. After you create that password, you re-enter the password. Then click Sign In. This is a common error that we get. It says, we've seen that password too many times before. Choose something harder. Now, remember, you can't use your name as part of the password. You can't use your student ID either. Make sure your password is 8 characters long, consisting of both uppercase and lowercase letters and a number. Let us try again. After you have typed in your password, click Sign In. Now this is your welcome screen when you're logging in for the very first time. For now, you can close it as we continue. Now, for you to see the different applications that are available here on Office 365, you can go to the top left corner of the page and click on the tiles that are next to the word Office 365. Now, under these tiles, you can see all the different applications that are provided under Office 365, but for a much more broader view, you can click on All Apps. Now, these apps are arranged alphabetically from A to Z, and there are so many apps that you can explore. The apps that we're going to be looking at today is OneDrive, Outlook, Teams, PowerPoint, and Microsoft Word. The very first application that we're going to be looking at is the OneDrive. OneDrive is the usual cloud storage. It allows you to store your files on the cloud, and it can be a single file or it can be an entire folder consisting of many files. Now, to do that, it's simple. Go to Upload and select which one you are going to be storing or uploading, be it a file or a folder, then follow the prompt. Now, you can always find your files readily available on your OneDrive. This can be used as your backup for your assignments and your projects, just in case the physical storage device that you're using gets damaged or lost. Moving on to another application, we go to Outlook. Outlook is where you will be getting all your school-related emails. Emails from your lecturers or emails from the mail administrator. The other applications that are available under Office 365 is Word and PowerPoint. Now, these are the same as the ones that you use on your computers at home. It's the same Microsoft Word and the same PowerPoint, but the difference here is that you can actually share your documents with a group of people. While you are typing in whatever it is you're editing, your group will be able to see each and every thing that you add to the document. One of the most important things that we're going to be looking at is Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is an application that has allowed us to have online discussions, online classes, since we live in a time where we can't all physically meet in the same place. You'll be using it a lot while you study. It can be either for study groups or it can be for lessons that have been scheduled by your professors. So you simply just go on to Microsoft Teams, and once you are there, this is the dashboard that shows up. Now, on the left-hand side of your screen, this is what pops up when it's your very first time to log on to Microsoft Teams. Now, let us close it for now and continue on with our illustration. At the top left corner of the page, you will find activities, your chats, your teams, your assignments, your calendar, and so forth. The most important things to look out for here are your activities, which shows you all the upcoming events, your chats, which shows you the ongoing communication between participants in an online meeting as the meeting continues via text, your teams. Your teams now will be created according to what the team is for. As an example, there may be a team for your course that is Mathematics 111, MAT 111, or there may be a group discussion that you want to have with your study buddies. You just go on to create team and you add all the people that you want to be a part of your team so that they can see it or have it as part of their teams on their Microsoft team. Then we have assignments. This is where your lecturers will put up your assignments. And calendar, it is the normal calendar. But what's different about it is that on days where you have particular meetings on Teams, it will show up in your calendar and allow you to join a meeting. You can have calls and there are files that can be stored on Microsoft Teams. Now, if you want to start a meeting, you can just go to click New Meeting and follow the prompt as you go through. This is all that we're going to be looking at with regards to Office 365. We can now sign out. As we always remember, that when we're using school computers, always sign out of each and every system that we use. Going on back to the UB website. Now to the very last online system that we're going to be looking at. It is the Residence Management System. Now, the Residence Management System is where, as a student, you can go and apply for accommodation. For you to log on to the system, your username is your student ID, and your password, if it's your very first time logging on, it's your student ID. Let us try it. Password is your student ID if it is your very first time logging on to the system. Once you have entered them correctly, click Log In. Now that we've successfully logged in, remember to never ever save your passwords. So click on Never and let us continue. Now, this is the homepage of the student accommodation system. And if you look at the very bottom of the page, it says 2021 applications. There are 3 categories under which you can apply for accommodation as a student. It's either it's your first year as a student at the University of Botswana, so you are a first year student, or you are applying as a returning student, returning for other semesters, or you are applying as a graduate student. So according to each category that you fall on, click and start your application for accommodation. This is all with regards to the student management system. Now we can go back to the UB website. The very last system that we're going to be looking at is paying online. Now, still at the UB webpage, you can scroll all the way to the bottom of the page, and right next to where it says online systems, there is pay online. There are different services that you can pay for while at the University of Botswana, and this page shows you step by step how to input your online payment. First of all, you select the item that you want to pay for, then you enter in your payer detail and confirm and proceed to pay. After you've done all that, there will be a notification that comes from your bank that shows you that money has been withdrawn for a particular fee that you paid for to the university account. This is all that we had for you. Now, if you scroll all the way to the bottom of the page of the University of Botswana to where it says online systems, you will realize that we've talked about a majority of the systems that appear here. All the other systems that we haven't talked about are the ones that you will get to learn how to use on your journey here in UB. For now, as a first-year student, these are all the systems that you need to know about. Thank you.